Yeah, see, it's already puddling up there just from leaving it for this long. We got to find the main water line, and it just so happens that it's right underneath the deck. And I might have lucked out. Let's see if I can't show you this. It looks like they're on a water meter, or the water valve, the main control valve. Oh, that says irrigation control valve. I'm not even going to mess with that anyways. Let's see, here's a line that comes up. There's a valve right there. I think that's the main water line. See how the red goes both ways? The same direction as the pipe. So that, you know, is on. So you turn it so it goes up and down across the other way. That'll be off. I did some more digging. There's a separate pipe that goes up this way. And see, there's a handle right there. And I think if I turn that, and I looked up there, and see there's a pipe that goes along there, right like that. It comes out right where the hose bib is. Okay, so I'm going to turn this first. I have not tried it yet. I'm going to see if I can't turn it. I'll get that turned up like that. I think that might be in the off position. It should be in the off position now. It even looks like it's slowing up here. Let's turn this on now. See, that's just the water in that pipe right there, I believe. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, it's going off. See, there was a lot of water in there because that pipe goes along to some other hose bibs. And so all those pipes have to drain, and they drain out this way. Okay? I'm gonna leave that open. Wow, I guess I didn't have to shut all the water off anyways. If you can't find a valve like that, lots of times you can't find something like that, look for your main water line, and then you'll have to shut it off there. Okay, so I'm going to let that drain a little bit more. We'll get on to the next part of the project. Unscrewing that, making sure it comes off easy. Haven't tried it yet. We'll see how easy it gets. You know what? It's still dripping, but that should be okay. Now, if you have a pair of pliers like this, you can adjust it all the way out, and you might be able to take it off that way. Right there. And turn it. If that's too hard for you, you got a pair of channel locks. This is like a medium size channel locks. You can adjust this however you want. Okay, so I can set that on there like this and turn. You don't have that, use a crescent wrench. This is about a medium size length of a crescent wrench. You can adjust that however you want. Put that on there. Let's just try that, shall we? Let's try to give it a turn. Hasn't been loosened up for a while. I'm just going to go slow. I looked at this before, saw that there's a female adapter in there, and this should unscrew now. There it is. See there? This is a little brass piece. It's pushed on there. And you know, this one's been on the house for, who knows, 15 years. Look at this. It's almost exactly the same. Now I'm glad that this pipe nipple wasn't any shorter. If it was, I might not have gotten it in there all the way. Okay, so simple enough, right? They had Teflon tape on there from before, right there. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We had pipe dope. You could put pipe dope on there. They even have other threaded or other tape. Well, it's for gas lines, and I don't know if it's for this or not. A different tape than Teflon tape, but we're gonna use the Teflon tape on this, since that's how they did it before. pretty easy to put this pipe Teflon tape on there. If you don't have any Teflon tape, you need to get some. This is good for all kinds of plumbing repairs and so forth. Okay, so I want to put it on so it's going the same direction as when I tighten it up. So I got to think about this for a minute. I believe it's going to go this way. I want to just hold it on there carefully. I want to try to keep it on there straight, like that. Okay. I usually do this kneeling down. Let's see if you can see this. Okay, give it a few spins like I'm doing. I guess I can pull this off. I want to try to keep this as straight as I can. Now I can take this I want to try not to get it folded. Okay. Yeah. See, I should have been doing this down on the ground. Guess that's far enough. I can pull that off. And see, as I'm twisting it, I want the last little bit there. So as I'm twisting it like that, when I put it in there to screw it in, I want it to go the same direction. Because if I have this going the very opposite direction, it's going to loosen up. Teflon tape's going to loosen up on the threads. Okay, so remember that. I simply want to take that, line it up. Okay, got it. Take my pliers on it again, my crescent wrench. It's also called a spanner wrench. I want to make this snug. I don't want to make it so tight that I break the fitting back behind it or something like that. And I think that's going to be enough. You know, I might be able to go another go, but this, I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to try that first before going too much. If anything leaks or anything, then I can try to go around one more time. Alright? So now I'm going to turn, I'm going to make sure this is off. I'm going to turn the water back on now. So far, so good. Looks pretty good. I don't think it's leaking at all. Looking up in there, looks fine. Let's turn that on. Let's just turn it on. It should be fine. Now that's how a hose bib is supposed to work. Now I can hook it back up to the hose, but before I do that, I probably should get that clamp back on there now. If you take something off, make sure you put it back. Okay, so I'm going to take that ground wire clamp and put it back on there because that ground wire is there. Do all hose bibs have to have that? No. That has nothing to do with the hose bib. Somebody was grounding something in the house underneath the deck on something, and they needed a ground. They didn't want to go back to the electrical panel or something like that, and so they thought, well, let's just ground it to the water line. When they do that, usually the inspector will make you put it right out so that somebody can see it, rather than, oh, I'll just connect that to the copper pipe, you know, underneath the deck so nobody can see it. Well, if you're having it inspected, inspector will say no. See there, that's the proper install of that. It's fit around the knuckle of the hose bib, and there's a V, there's a separate V there, and you want to put it on so it matches your knuckle. You don't want to put it on half and half. Tighten up top and bottom screw. Right there is where the ground wire comes through there, and I set that screw and tighten it up right there. Okay? Now, you know. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.